everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing this sunset kind of Lisa Frank inspired leopard. It's also inspired by Corey Willett, otherwise known as Twistinbangs on Instagram. She's an amazing body painter and someone I really look up to, so I decided to do this look inspired by her Lisa Frank leopard. So I hope you guys enjoy this Halloween tutorial. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my other Halloween tutorials throughout the season. So let's get started. So to start out, I am taking a yellow water activated paint and starting basically from the bottom of this piece up. So this is going to take a lot of layers since this paint is so sheer. So if you want, you can put a white base underneath, but I just decided to use a whole bunch of layers because I have plenty of yellow paint to use. So this is just water activated paint. You can also use alcohol activated paint. I just like water activated because it's easier on your skin. So I'm just putting this all over, and I think it took about 6 layers to get the color I really wanted. But next I'm going to start with our orange layer to create this sunset kind of neon cat look. And again, with this color, it's going to take a lot of layers. So this look does require a little bit of time and patience. So now I'm going in with some purple paint, and I decided that the water activated paint was just not going to work. So I made my own little concoction of red, blue, and white to get this nice kind of deep lilac color. And to apply all these paints, I am just using cosmetic sponges. Each little color had their own sponge, so nothing got too mixed. But I am just layering this up and blending it out. The cosmetic sponges can leave you with a little bit of patchiness, so you kind of have to go between bouncing and swiping, but once you get the hang of it, it really is easy to apply this stuff. Now I'm going up the sides of my neck to kind of contour and create the head shape I want, and I'm just using swiping motions for this because it does create the effect of fur when you have those little kind of streaks and brush marks, but I also wanted to bounce out the edges so that everything is nice and seamless. Now, I did not paint my back. You can totally do that if you are going with a full body paint. I just did my chest, neck, and face. So now I am just going to start filling in the throat area. I'm taking a small brush and just using a white cream paint to fill in this section. You can do this like a pink if you want a really bright color, but I thought the white was perfect to kind of use as a highlight. It kind of does a 2-in-1 job of filling in and highlighting, so you don't have to go back in later. But I just decided to use a brush over a sponge because this gives me a little bit more control and detail over the thickness of the paint and how to blend it out on the edges. So you're just going to take this and fill in all the way from wherever your purple paint stops on your chest to underneath your chin, and we're gonna connect it later with the face, but I just wanted to finish off the body before I even started trying to outline anything on my face. So now I am just going to start on the face, and basically it's the exact same process as the body, starting with the yellow. I'm just layering it up over my forehead, and I'm not going to explain this part too much because it's pretty much the same as the body. But I just wanted you guys to know I'm using the same sponges and the same paints. For the eyes, I just took a flat kind of square shaped brush and brought the lower lash line out a bit
and I'm just using white paint here, and I connected that all the way from the inner corner all the way out. You basically just want to fill in the entire area with this white paint because you want it to look very big, but we're going to add some details so that it looks very slanted like a cat. Now with this purple paint, I am just putting it in the areas that I basically put my concealer and blending it out so that we continue with our gradient effect just like we did with the body. So for the rest of the face, I am connecting that white from our chest up to my chin and basically underneath my lip. And this is where you're going to really start fine-tuning your face shape. So using the same brush I used before on the chest, I'm just going to create kind of a wide U shape to give it the effect that I have a wider mouth and a wider chin, and just kind of bringing everything together. And this is where you're going to really start to see your illusion, and you're going to want to make sure you layer this white on really thick. So then I'm going to start carving out that jawline, again just using the white to give us those little places that cats have different shapes than we do. So now I'm going in underneath that purple to create the kind of cheek slash area where the whiskers grow out. It's a pretty simple shape, but I do recommend looking at a reference photo just so you can kind of see where everything needs to go. And again, you want to layer this on really thick because you don't want any of your base colors to come through underneath. If I'm using the same brush as I used on my chin, this brush is great for doing fine detail work, so I definitely recommend getting a small little packing brush like this. And then I'm just filling in my bottom lip with some white paint. And now I'm going to start adding the fine details. As you can see, there's spots all over my body now. For some reason my camera cut it off, but you will see it when I do it on my face. I'm just outlining that chest area with some black and creating some little fur type brush strokes. This is a really easy process. You just want to make sure you don't get too carried away with the black and that you let everything dry and set. So once I have it all outlined, I'm just bringing in a few strokes inward to make that kind of fluffy, furry, all over the place kind of look. For the dots, I am just kind of using my brush and pressing it into the skin and then going in and outlining that sort of jaw area just so I know where to and where not to put the dots at. And then I'm also going to outline that chin area so we really have a differentiation between our chest and our face. It is important to outline all this stuff. If you don't, everything can kind of get lost and you're gonna really lose that illusion. So you just want to create that little line to give you all the features that you're really looking for. Now I'm going to start creating our nose shape. As you can see, I filled in my lips. Now just around the nostrils, I'm basically going to black them out and make them look a little bit bigger. And then I went in and started adding more dot work. At this point, you're going to see me jump around a lot just because I had certain products out and wanted to fill in areas like where the whiskers would be growing with the little dots. And for my face, I am just kind of throwing in little C shapes or upside down U's and kind of creating just that cheetah effect where some are spots, some just look like kind of very tiny stripes. So I'm just using a little brush and kind of letting the paint decide where it wants to go. This is not an exact science. This is just kind of however you feel you want to do it. You just want to make sure that your pattern is not super perfect, that there's no real straight lines when you're doing this. So now I'm going to highlight my nose with a bit of white paint, and I just blended this out with my finger because honestly there is no better way to do it when you're working like this. And I'm just going to finish off the nose with a bit of blue paint just to give it a little bit of a pop of color and just so everything's not so dark, and it also gives it that wet effect. So basically what would be the front of the cat's nose you want to put on the top of your... Now I'm just adding a normal cat eyeliner. I think you guys have seen me do this in my normal tutorials. And if you haven't, you can check some of them out in the suggestion bar. But I am just basically creating a cat eye just like you would any other time. My Catwoman tutorial, I did this, which I will leave down below if you want a more in-depth look. Then I'm just adding some dots on my eyes as well. I saved this for last because I didn't want that. But once you finish up your final dot work, that is the end of the tutorial. So you can just throw on a wig if you want, or maybe add some cat ears. It's really your personal preference. But this look was a lot of fun. I was really proud of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!